All right, with the Bengals, there's a lot of hype every year. It comes with the territory of the Bengals and what they can do this offseason. Something that has been said, and they've made articles about it. Joe Burrow's been like, you know what? There's a vibe I'm getting from 2019 LSU, and it's like, Joe, I'm not buying into any of that till you guys start winning. And what I mean by winning is winning some games deep into the postseason. Since their loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs went on to go play the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the Bengals' season have been derailed by his untimely injuries. And in 2023, with his hand injury, they missed the postseason. In 2024, they made a final push towards the very end, and then they ultimately uh, missed out because I think the Chiefs beat the Broncos or something like that. And then, of course, last season. So, Bengals have missed the postseason the last 3 straight years. Do I think it could turn around? Potentially. But in this video, I wanted to go over just kind of some teams that I think they could beat. Um, ooh, this is a tough one at the start. You know what? I'll have them starting. Mmm. Mmm. Sure. Season opener against Tampa. Yeah, I can see them winning that one. They'll probably split 1-1. I could see them splitting 1-1 in the division with everybody. At Houston, they can. I could see them probably win this one. But then again, how they're they're definitely beating Miami. Come on, they're beating Miami. How many times have we seen, if anything, like we can move this one actually back? How many times have the Bengals gotten off to a slow start every season? You know what I mean? Do I sound crazy? Would it be crazy to say that they start 0-3, losing to the Bucks, losing to the Texans, and then losing to the Steelers? I mean, for the Steelers series, I'll have look, let me fix this real quick and make it simple. I'll have the home team winning each one. That's not too crazy to say. But them up until the bye week after week 5 being 3-2, 2-3, my bad. Doesn't sound too crazy to think that. Um, hmm. Nah, let me fix the Houston one. Nah, they can probably beat Houston. All right, then the bye week at Baltimore, probably a loss. And then against Tennessee, and then against. You know what? No, I'm going to take the Falcons because international games, it doesn't matter the record, it doesn't matter how much momentum you have coming into that game. It's kind of anybody's game, and there's so many, like, it's a weird, different animal. And so I'll just pick the Falcons in that one. So what are we at here? One, two, three, four, 4-4 halfway through the season. That makes sense. We got a rematch here against Washington. Let's get a little bit of sweet revenge here. And against the Saints, I think they could beat the Saints. I think they could also beat. So look at this. So after the bye week, turning it around here, having them win 5 out of 6, that seems pretty legit. And in this, slate of games here, after the bye week, we're into November. This is probably going to be their push to the playoffs because if they're sitting at 500, if they can't get through this slate after the international game and they lose at home to the Steelers and then at Washington and then at home to the Saints, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have quick, 4 losses in a row, they're sitting at 4-8, and the chances of them making the Super Bowl, no, not even the Super Bowl, my bad, the playoffs, that goes down tremendously. Them at home against the Chiefs, not going to overlook this one. I'm gonna have them winning that. Now, to see the Bengals win out, no, not even a little bit. I'll have them lose. Yeah, they'll probably because look, they're not after losing to the Falcons potentially. They're not gonna rattle off 7 wins in a row. That's not happening. I'll have them. Do you think they could win now? Depending on where they're sitting position wise with the playoff push, will depend if starters are playing in this one because the last handful of years, yes, starters have been playing in this one because they're pushing to try to get in the playoffs. What are we sitting at after? I'll have them splitting with the Ravens, so there's not too much to look at there. So we're sitting at 4-4 after the break. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-4, 9-5, 9-6. Ooh. Hmm. You know what? I'll have them win that one. We got to change one of these two. They're not gonna win five in a row, and you know they might not even beat the Titans. There could this. Let me let me switch it up here a little bit. I do think they could beat Washington, but again, them coming back from and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, winning seven of their final. No, we haven't seen those kind of Bengals in a very long time. I haven't seen any big additional pieces. I know there's Dexter Lawrence, but like other big um, impact pieces on that defense to improve it. I just they're gonna there's something in these four games. They're not gonna go 4-0 right here, even though it seems slated they can go 4-0 or maybe 4-1 with this Chiefs game. There's gonna be a handful of losses somewhere in here, so I'll pick here. I'll pick here. Um, Yeah, I'll do Washington because at the end of the day, Washington is a better team than the Saints, so I'll have them losing that one. Um, and if I were to flip this one and put this one as a loss, I'd have to put this one because again, I think the Bengals are pretty even with the Steelers and the Ravens. When we want to talk about the division, I think you could toss it up between any of those three. Not the Browns. It's not going to the Browns. I do think they could probably realistically split 1-1 with the Browns. And if it is going to be one, it's going to be this last one because the Browns will probably be playing their starters versus the Bengals who are not, or the Bengals are already out of contention and they've been, injury riddled all season where they don't even need to play their starters. You know what I mean? I know that might sound crazy, but I'm going to put a win here. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 wins? 10-7? 10-7 sounds pretty solid, all things considered. That would get them at least a sixth seed or a seventh seed. Um, my expectations for the Bengals is just to get to the playoffs, considering what the you know recency has been with the Bengals and their struggles to get back to the big dance. But guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. How far are they getting? How many games are they winning? I'm picking kind of that middle 10. Feels safe because one, 2, 3, 4, 5 twice. This one twice. 6, 7. They're playing like 7 playoff teams, and out of those 7 playoff teams, 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss. Seems pretty fair. I don't know. Anyways, let me know in the comments, guys. How many wins do you have the Bengals? Is Joe Burrow finally going to get over the hump and win a Super Bowl? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.